I work from wherever I want and I make $12,000 a month take home pay. That's not like I'm making this and then I have to give it away. Well, I do have to give some away for taxes, but me last year, I was making like $3,500 a month in consistent revenue, right? The rest, I would just have to sell myself every month. And some months I didn't make it, and some months I did. It was just not consistent. It was not pleasant. And all of it came from inside of me, right? I thought it was like all these external things that I wasn't doing, but I didn't look at the reason why I wasn't doing them. And part of the reason I wasn't doing them is because I was a total perfectionist, right? I would set these unrealistic goals and then I wouldn't be able to meet them. But when I was more realistic with myself and more consistent, everything clicked. So if that's you, I want to walk you through how exactly I did that and how I got to where I am now. Because it wasn't only, my business that grew and changed. My relationship got more in line with what it should be. I lost 55 pounds. The amount of things that I did last year by stopping worrying about the outcome and the end result were literally insane. The book that I used a lot for my actual business goals was called The 12-Week Year. So just to walk through like what I did with that in terms of consistency was I set like my goals for the next 12 weeks, which is going to three sales calls, two networking events. What was the doing one free thing for a client every week for 12 weeks. And that's how I got to my income that I have now, right? And it grew since then, but it was really like a huge ripple effect from that time in my life where I was disciplined and I was growing. Now, the business that I have now is enough to keep me busy, right? It's enough to maintain my stuff. And I also help my friend run her roofing company. It's a few $1 million. And so those things, they keep me busy. Where's Lady? Lady keeps me busy too. That's my dog. I don't know if you can see her. I don't think you can. But I feel fulfilled in my life and I'm not in a stage where I want to grow, which is why I haven't done another stint of growth. I actually did try to do it again a little bit ago and I was getting proposals in and I felt overwhelmed, which is just to say that this works and, sometimes you don't always want to be in a growth phase in terms of growing your income. I feel like I need to grow deeper in the skills that I'm learning in the work that I have right now versus trying to get new, more and more and more income. I believe that will come with an increase in my skills. But the thing with this as well is I wasn't super hard on myself on getting it perfect every week. I gave myself like if I did 70% or more of the activities I was supposed to do, it was a good week. And I literally hit it out of the park by week 13. I smashed all the goals that I had. And it was just insane. And to talk about like what I was like when I lost 55 pounds as well. For the longest time, I really struggled with disordered eating, right? Like from the time I was 13, I would diet severely and then it would binge back like crazy, right? For like 2 years. And then would kind of diet again and then binge back. And then when I was 18, I was like kind of at a normal weight, but I was still like restricting, binging, all that sort of stuff. It was just a bad pattern. And so that's what I want you to catch yourself in as well, is like what is the pattern that you're doing? Because if you're watching this and you don't get what you want out of your life, you're probably acting like a victim. You probably don't have the mindset that everything is my fault. Like you care about yourself enough to come on to these self-improvement things, but I'm saying this from a point of like I was that person, I still am that person. We all have like a bit of an ego, but I really just was not consistent in just eating well, not eating too much, and just letting my body do what it did. So when I went to eating disorder therapy, I think in like 23, 24, 2020, I don't even know what year it was actually. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say I was like 23 or 24. I rebounded a ton of weight. I think I weighed like 170 pounds. I weigh 117 pounds. I think that's about 55 pounds last time I went to the doctors, which was like a month ago to get my bloods done. That's a crazy difference. And the craziest thing is I didn't even really know I lost that much weight. It just kind of happened because I wasn't so fixated on food and I hung around healthy people and I knew kind of what to eat and I like don't eat certain things. Like I still don't eat dairy. I don't eat fast food. Like dairy just makes my stomach upset. Like I've been trying to eat it this month actually just to see if I'm okay with like high quality dairy, but for the most part like it just inflames my face and so I know that it's not something that works for my body. But it doesn't really come from a place of restriction. It comes from a place of love. Like, really having an abundance mindset has been very important for me as well. Just knowing that I can't control this and this and this, but I can control me and what I do in my actions. My biggest thing before is, even though I was super strict with my diet, I would overeat, right? And so we have to look at the patterns that are actually holding us back. I have a friend right now, and I'm about to work with her to lose some weight. Me and her sister are kind of scheming. We're going to have her pay like me $500 a month, just put it away for her later, because I truly believe that most of these things are inner journeys versus like outer journeys. There are things that hold us back, and whatever it is that we want in the goal, there's a process to get there, which is going to undo a lot of the wounds that we have. And so we've been given this challenge for a reason. You've been given this challenge for a reason. And so I say this, like, if you're not where you want to be, don't be ashamed. I don't feel ashamed of where I came from. I feel quite proud that I overcame it, and I still have a lot of work to do. So just to say, like, do the inner work, you know what I mean? Like, embrace the process, embrace what you can control versus all these other things around you, and being like, oh, like, this happened, so I can't do this. Like, I know with my eating stuff, I used to blame my mom a lot. My mom's a great mom, right? And, you know, maybe she did have a role to play in it, but then as soon as I turned 18, like, okay, all of us, like, I'm old enough to figure this stuff out. I'm old enough to start moving in the right direction. And by the time I was, like, I think 21, definitely my fault, right? And if we can really have that land, you should feel, like, pretty sad, right? I felt pretty sad, and that's okay. But then it gave me the place where I could actually do something about it. Like, even in my marriage, like, my marriage started out so in, like, the worst way possible. We really, like, we were living, like, in a shared house, and you know, he wasn't really in a place where he wanted to date, but he liked me. And so then we did start dating. I got baptized like halfway through us dating. We got married within like 4 months, right? And a lot of it was because of like lust. So I mean, like, we didn't do anything before marriage, but like that's probably the primary reason why we got married so quickly, right? Before like really waiting and really discerning. And so that has made our marriage incredibly difficult, because also he wasn't really ready to get married, and I was like pushing it, right? Because of these things, right? There were external factors, but at the end of the day, the energy doesn't lie. And so now in our marriage, I've had to completely realign what relationships mean to me. It's also my first like real relationship. I had some boyfriends earlier on, but not for very long, and they weren't very good. And so this reveals like a pattern within myself where I would fall for guys too fast. I would, like, before I got baptized, I would give them my body, and then they would pull away, and then I would be like, then they would do something, and I'd be like, well, now I have to break up with you. I guess I'm just gonna find someone else. But with my husband now, he's like loyal to a fault, like super, super loyal. Would never like hurt me physically, right? And so it's like we've got our own issues, but he was someone where it's like he didn't cheat on me like my last boyfriend, so I couldn't just break up with him. And so, especially when we got married, right? Because the default changes. It goes from like, is this my person, to is this definitely not my person? Like, do I have to get out of this relationship? So working through that has been a tremendous amount of growth for both of us, but we've had to realign and be consistent and figure out what it was within us that we could change, instead of looking at the other person and the blame and resentment that can happen. It's been hard. It's been really hard. I think the relationship has been one of the places where it reveals itself the most. So I would say if your business isn't really working and your romantic relationships are not really super good, that's actually indicative of a pattern. And if you can look at that pattern and figure out what that pattern is in each area of your life, you can really figure out what energy you're coming from. Are you coming from an energy of desperation? Are you coming from an energy of not believing that you already have these things? Like, the Bible tells us that if we pray for things like we already have them, that they will be ours. So that's a difficult energy to come from, especially when it's difficult to have hope for something that you can't see. But that's the whole point of faith, right? Like, if you can be afraid of an outcome, you can have faith in an outcome as well. This is Lady. Hi, Lady. Say hi to everyone. I don't know what she wants. But yeah, there's all these things to me are interconnected. That's why I talk a lot about business, and I also talk a lot about emotional regulation and leaving people behind, because we do have to leave people behind at different points in our life. Like, one of the things that has been really instrumental for me in figuring out like myself in every area of life is figuring out what I really can't handle. Because us as women, if we can come to something with the angle of like, I'm so sorry, I just can't accept that, I can't do that, it lands so well. It lands so well. And I don't know what it is about it, because I used to be like, you can't do that to me, like, and it didn't land as well. But whenever I'm like to someone, when I genuinely am at my point where I'm like, I can't handle this, I can't do it, I'm so sorry, it lands so much better. Like, I'll give you an example of that. My friend as well, she owns like a different business than me. She is like a client that I have now. She gave me her client because we were working on it together. She dissolved her agency. Excuse me. They owe her like $5,000, $6,000, something like that, and that's after she cut the bill in half, right? These people, they always pay me on time. I'm not behind on anything at all with them. The one time where they were like, where I didn't see my check right on time, I said, I'm so sorry, I cannot work without getting paid. Screenshot was with my account. I literally did not show up to work the next day, so screenshot was with me immediately. I literally just followed through because I was like, I can't work without getting paid. I'll find something else. I really trusted, and I even had backup plans within like 5 hours of realizing that I was not going to get paid on time, but then they followed through. And so just having that, knowing what I can't handle and working within what I truly can't handle, those are God-given standards, right? That's not unreasonable for me to get asked to pay on be I can't talk this morning. It's not unreasonable for me to ask to be paid on time, right? You watching this, you even know that. Yeah, I bet you with yourself, you let it go for too long if you are someone who works solo. And even if you are someone who works for a company, I'm sure you would still let it go on long, because you don't have that trust and that backup plan and those connections in order to get you over if something happens. For me, I've been spending a lot of time saving 50% of my paycheck. Like, I think about if things will go wrong, and I hope that they go right. But when something like that happens, I want to make sure that I can stay within what I can handle. Um, so yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but just having the energy of being able to protect yourself, knowing that what you can't handle, being realistic when you're being consistent is so important, and knowing and recognizing your patterns, knowing what energy you're coming from, and really being able to dive deep into that. If you guys want me to go like deeper onto any of these topics, just let me know in the comments. And again, like, I'm just sharing my experience. I am not a super qualified, therapist. I'm not here to like change everything about you and change the way you think. We're just having like a girly chat. I'm telling you about where I've come from and what I've gone through. It's more of like a human thing. I'm still 27. I'm still young. I'm still pretty immature, right? Being only 27, how can I possibly say that I'm mature? Like, we're all just going through this journey. And if you're younger than 27, or if you feel like I have things that you want, then maybe this advice is for you. And if you're not any of those things, then leave it behind. Like, I leave a ton of advice behind, and that's totally okay if I'm not the person that you want to be listening to. Okay, with that being said, wishing you the best. Hope you have the best day, and I will see you next time.